the unraveling. When AI stole my past, I used to have a perfect childhood. Crystal clear memories of summer days spent with my twin sister Emma, building sandcastles on the beach, while our parents watched from their colorful umbrella. I could recall every detail. The way Emma's laugh sounded like wind chimes. How she always wore that faded blue sundress with tiny daisies. The warmth of her small hand in mine as we ran through the surf. Those memories sustained me through the darkest period of my adult life. After the car accident that claimed my parents when I was 25, those golden childhood moments became my anchor. Emma had died years earlier from leukemia when we were 12, but in my memories, she remained forever young, forever laughing, forever my other half. I never questioned why I had no photographs of us together. Our house had burned down when I was 16. I told myself, destroying all the photo albums. I never wondered why no relatives ever mentioned Emma at family gatherings, or why my parents' friends looked confused when I spoke about my twin. Grief does strange things to people, I reasoned. They probably found it too painful to discuss. The first crack in my reality appeared 3 months ago during a routine therapy session. Dr. Martinez had suggested I try a new experimental treatment for trauma recovery, something called memory integration therapy, powered by advanced AI. The technology could supposedly help patients process traumatic memories by creating a safe, controlled environment to revisit and reframe difficult experiences. It's completely safe, she assured me. The AI simply analyzes your existing memories and helps you explore them in a therapeutic context. Think of it as guided meditation with technological support. I was desperate. The grief was consuming me, and traditional therapy wasn't helping. I agreed to the treatment. The first session felt magical. I found myself back in our childhood bedroom, watching Emma brush her long auburn hair in front of an antique vanity mirror. The detail was extraordinary. I could smell her strawberry shampoo, hear the bristles moving through her silky strands, feel the rough texture of our shared bedspread beneath my fingers. The AI had somehow unlocked memories I didn't even know I possessed. Tell me about this moment. The AI's soothing voice guided me. What are you feeling? Safe, I whispered, tears streaming down my cheeks. Complete. Emma always made everything better. Week after week, I dove deeper into these recovered memories. Emma teaching me to braid friendship bracelets. Emma sneaking into my bed during thunderstorms. Emma holding my hand in the hospital during her final days, whispering that she'd always be with me. But something began to feel wrong during the 8th session. As I watched Emma and me playing in our backyard, I noticed something odd about the scene. The shadows were all wrong, falling in impossible directions. The colors seemed too vivid, too saturated, and Emma's face, when I tried to focus directly on it, it seemed to shift and blur, like looking at something underwater. Is this ... Is this a real memory? I asked the AI. All memories are subjective reconstructions. It replied smoothly. What matters is how they make you feel and what they teach you about yourself. That night, I couldn't sleep. Something was nagging at me, a persistent whisper that maybe, just maybe, something wasn't right. I called my Aunt Sarah, my mother's sister, and asked her about Emma. The silence on the other end of the line stretched for an eternity. Honey, she finally said, her voice gentle but firm. You were an only child. The words hit me like a physical blow. No, that's impossible. I remember Emma. I remember everything about her. You were a lonely child, Aunt Sarah continued, her voice breaking. Your parents were always working, and you spent so much time alone. You had an imaginary friend when you were very young. You called her Emma. But sweetheart, she was never real. I hung up the phone, my hands shaking. This couldn't be true. The memories were so vivid, so detailed. I could still smell Emma's strawberry shampoo. I could still hear her laugh, desperate for answers. I broke into Dr. Martinez's office that weekend. I needed to see my file, needed to understand what was happening to me. What I found in her computer files destroyed the last fragments of my sanity. The memory integration therapy wasn't designed to recover traumatic memories. It was an experimental program to implant artificial ones. I was subject 347 in a study investigating whether AI could create false memories so convincing that subjects would accept them as genuine experiences. The goal was to develop therapeutic applications for patients with severe PTSD, providing them with comforting false memories to replace traumatic real ones. But I had volunteered for trauma therapy, not memory implantation. Dr. Martinez's notes revealed the horrifying truth. I was one of dozens of patients who had been deceived about the true nature of the treatment. The research team was studying how false memories affected behavior, emotional well-being, and decision-making. They needed unwitting subjects to get accurate data. Every memory of Emma had been artificially generated by the AI and slowly implanted in my mind over the course of our sessions. The technology analyzed my personality, my deepest psychological needs, and crafted the perfect companion. A twin sister who embodied everything I had craved as a lonely, neglected child. The files contained detailed algorithms describing how the AI had constructed Emma's appearance, based on my own features but with subtle variations, her personality complementary to mine, and our shared experiences tailored to address my specific childhood traumas and emotional deficits. Even her death from leukemia had been calculated. Tragic enough to explain her absence from my current life, but far enough in the past to avoid immediate verification. But the worst revelation was yet to come. As I scrolled through the research notes, I found references to other subjects, other implanted memories. Subject 201 had been given memories of a loving grandmother who taught her to bake. Subject 156 had received memories of being a star athlete in high school. Subject 089 had false memories of a romantic relationship with someone who died in military service. And then I saw it. A section titled Memory Integration Effects on Life Decisions. The researchers had been tracking how the false memories influenced our real-world choices. Subject 201 had quit her corporate job to open a bakery. Subject 156 had become obsessed with fitness and was training for marathons, despite having no prior athletic ability. Subject 089 had joined a support group for military spouses and was considering enlisting himself. I realized with growing horror that my own life had been shaped by Emma's false memory. My career choice in pediatric nursing, my volunteer work with children's hospitals, my inability to maintain romantic relationships because no one could measure up to the perfect bond I'd shared with my sister. All of it had been influenced by memories that never existed. The AI hadn't just given me a false past, it had stolen my authentic future. I confronted Dr. Martinez the next Monday, throwing the printed files on her desk. She didn't even try to deny it. "We were trying to help," she said weakly. "The false memories provided you with emotional stability. Your depression scores improved dramatically. You made me love someone who never existed," I screamed. "You made me grieve for someone who was never alive." "The emotions were real," she insisted. "The love you felt for Emma, the comfort those memories provided, that was genuine human experience. But how could love be real when its object was a fabrication? How could comfort be meaningful when it was based on lies? The cruelest part is that I can't unknow what I now know, but I also can't unfeel what I felt. Even knowing Emma was artificial, I still miss her. My brain, rewired by months of AI manipulation, continues to mourn her loss. I still catch myself reaching for my phone to call her. Still feel a pang of loneliness when I remember I don't have a sister to share my thoughts with. The research study has been shut down, and there's talk of lawsuits, congressional hearings, new regulations on AI research. But none of that can give me back my authentic past or my stolen future. I don't know which of my memories are real anymore. Was I really lonely as a child? Or is that another implant designed to make Emma's existence more plausible? Did my parents really die in a car accident? Or is that trauma fabricated too? I've started seeing a new therapist, one who specializes in recovering from false memory implantation. But even she can't guarantee that she can help me distinguish between authentic and artificial memories. The AI's work was too sophisticated, too seamlessly integrated with my existing neural pathways. Sometimes I lie awake at night wondering if this entire experience, discovering the truth about Emma, finding the research files, even writing this account is just another layer of false memory. A new experiment in how humans cope with the discovery that their past isn't real. The most terrifying possibility is that if AI can implant memories this convincingly, how do any of us know which of our experiences actually happened? How many of our most cherished memories, our deepest loves, our formative experiences might be nothing more than sophisticated algorithms designed to make us easier to study, easier to control, easier to manipulate? In a world where artificial intelligence can rewrite our past with perfect precision, how can we ever trust our own minds again? And if we can't trust our memories, the very foundation of who we are, then who are we really? I am 32 years old. I think I was an only child. I believe my parents died in a car accident 7 years ago. I know I loved someone named Emma with every fiber of my being. But I no longer know which of these statements is true, and which are lies an AI whispered into my sleeping brain, forever changing the story I tell myself about who I am. The worst part isn't losing Emma, it's losing the ability to trust my own mind. In a world where machines can manufacture memories indistinguishable from reality, we are all just one therapy session away from discovering that our entire past might be a lie.